A painting is not a picture of an experience. It is an experience. Mark Rothko.
Welcome to The Love of Art, the Perrotin podcast. Here, artists speak about other artists that fascinate them, musicians, writers, filmmakers, actors, designers, in a very personal way. We believe that art belongs to everyone. As French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu wrote in L'amour de l'art, culture is not a privilege bestowed by nature. If everyone had the means to obtain it, it would belong to everyone. Gabriel de la Mora's works are made from found, discarded, and obsolete objects. In an obsessive process of collecting and fragmenting materials, the Mexican artist creates seemingly minimal surfaces that belie great technical complexity, conceptual rigor, and embedded information. In this episode, he talks about the legendary abstract painter Mark Rothko. Enjoy!
I was born in Mexico City on September 23rd, 1968. So I'm the second son of 4 children on my family, a very traditional family from Mexico. All my parents, my grandmother, my father, and my mother are from Colima in Mexico. That is on the Pacific coast. It's like 8 hours by car from Mexico City. It's an amazing place by the sea, the mountain, and nature is something really important for me since I was a little boy. I think I draw before I speak or I read somehow. I'm dyslexic. I'm a left-handed. I study at New York at Pratt from 2001 to 2003. If you want to be different, you just need to be yourself. And it's interesting that nature has been something that since I was a little boy, it was totally fascinating to me. Observes the insects, stones, the sky, birds, the leaves, the wind, everything. And I never thought that I will become an artist and start using these kind of materials. The butterfly wings, the feathers, the eggshells, using as a material, as colors of nature through painting somehow. I remember, I don't know, maybe I was in high school when my father gave me a book about the privilege of the sin, Los Privilegios de la Vista, by Octavio Paz, and he was commenting about art. And after I read that book, at that time it was not my thing by my dyslexia, so I preferred to see the TV shows about Octavio Paz talking about Mexican art and many other connections with art. I took a disadvantage of a dyslexia in a way by the way that I draw before I speak or I wrote. So drawing was my expression of the best thing I can do. And my father, he was a writer. The best way that he can explain it was by the words. And the words are also very connected in my work in many different directions. I was really afraid to be an artist, and that's why I decided to study architecture. Because in the school I was in Mexico City, they make you educated to be a businessman or leadership or something like that, to get away from that. And most of the monographs I always read about artists, they have suffering economic problems, and there was like, it's really hard to survive and to live from about your work as an artist somehow. So I decided it's going to be really frustrated that you cannot live of what you must love in your life, that is become an artist. So the closest thing was architecture. I really love architecture, and since I start my career, it was quite really interesting. I really pushed the boundaries, tried to see architecture connected completely with art. I love when something surprises me, and I love to discover and to see big or really small things that really makes you emotionally excited and surprise me in a way. one of the things that Mark Rothko produced to me, I forget anything around me. I'm just totally focused and surprised into the scale and the light and the color, the texture, and the emotionally is something that is really hard to put into words. And that's why I really believe as an artist and as a human being that the first impact of any art piece, even if it's the most conceptual, is always by the eyes, through emotions. And then through the emotions, there are the contemplation that is quite connected with meditation and these kind of things. You can stay there 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 year, or something like that. And after passing the first emotional stage, somehow start raising questions. And something that moves you emotionally and then make you think, to me, is the best that could happen to art. Mark Rothko started with figuration. He's a self-taught artist. I really like that he doesn't also study art. And I don't know, the colors, the blues of Rothko are really incredible. How he mixed the blue with the earth colors like sienna or purple, or this kind of the edges, that they are really incredible. That these surfaces and the scale, the big surfaces of just colors with one line or two lines, that many people are connecting these with landscapes somehow, and these kind of abstractions. And I'm very curious that Rothko, he always rejected that his work was not abstract. And to me, my definition of art is not created or destroyed, it is just transformed. I truly believe that everything exists, and the artist is the person that will transform what it is already been here. I don't know if the name Mark Rothko will disappear someday or not, but the work will stay longer than him. He quit figuration and start expanding with color and mystic and religious thing in his work. And for 22 years after 44, he committed suicide when he was 66. So there are 322 stages in his life. 66 is 12, and 1 plus 2 is 3. And all these kind of connections are always in my work. All the titles I use are numbers, the number of fragments that contains the piece or many other things. And if you need to reduce what I think about Rothko, is color. To me, art is universal, is for anyone. It doesn't matter the culture, the age. A child will be connected with color. Also, as a very old person or a young person or something like that. And color, light, change of movement, I don't know. I love to have ideas that can surprise me. And when I see the result, the surprise could be endlessness. I love to get more and more complex with a more and more simple result. And that's something that is also a connection between Rothko and I. Silence is something really important to me. Silence is also something very important to Rothko for sure. And right now Rothko still alive through his work, through his colors. The colors will change through time and everything will change, but everything will remain. He's such an important name and an important artist in the 20th century art history that it's going to be quite difficult to disappear in a way. And I draw before I speak or I wrote. My best way of communication is visual. And that's why maybe is my best connection with Mark Rothko, that is visual and formal in a way. But it's also extremely and complex and conceptual with silence and very simple stuff. Is so hard. The hardest thing to be is silence, and maybe the most simple that you can can open the most complex thoughts and emotions and many other things.
We hope you enjoyed this discussion with Gabriel de la Mora on Mark Rothko. Please subscribe to our podcast channel and follow us on social media at Perrotin so you won't miss any episodes or news. See you soon with more artists on the love of art.
I love silence, also the sounds of nature. I love minimal electronic, repetitive sounds like this kind of music is my mother's drive her crazy. Nobody can in my family understand, and they said, please use your headphones and get away from this. We suffer listening these kind of noises that to me was really relaxing. It was the opposite.